very good morning to you this cold Tuesday morning. But of course, we are here to make it warm for you. Matters Social. My name is Ann Cutie, and of course, I'm sitting in for Safina Cheng. Ako huko nje, anatupikia mambo vile inafaa, but tuko hapa kuwakilisha. In the meantime, of course, niko na Mbogi. Unajua nimezoea kukua on the other side kuchachisha. Nimezoea kukua mchachishaji, but of course, panel yetu kama kawaida, Ken.
Yeah, good morning.
To see you.
Belated happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
We need to be told whether ni birthdays muliambiana zikaribiane ama it was by pure coincidence.
Ni mambo ya God.
Oh, ni mambo ya God.
Ni mambo ya God too.
It's good to survive, and pole sana to the families that have lost their loved ones during the flooding season. And I hope people can be safe.
True that.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Ken. Watu wakai safe uko nje. Ukai safe, make sure una check news, unajua ni wapi, unasikiza, unajua ni wapi. If you can avoid it, I mean, the better. Bobby, Roberta Bobby. Bobby, unajua ni kuzoea na makalas nini. Rada.
Niseme ama niseme sawa. Lakini bado hivyo niko in mourning. I'm grieving a friend of mine. Lost a friend of mine. His name is Joe Miles. Last week he was murdered brutally. Niko devastated, niko shocked. The friends of Miles are very, very sijui, ni mbaya. That's all I can say. Yeah. So
pole sana.
Leo mkiona machozi zina form hivi mnaniwia radhi tafadhali. Saa ingine ni ngumu kuongea when you're going through internal things. Yeah.
We'll try to cheer you up, Bobby.
Please
Tutajaribu sana.
Mnaweza nitumia M-Pesa. Hiyo itafanya ni smile kweli.
Bobby.
Lazima nijibonge.
Nitoke, si ndio? CJ, good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Right.
How's it going?
Good. Grateful.
How's your
much.
team taking you?
My team? Bobby, you forgot we were in March.
What? How did we get here?
I know. It's already March.
We'll be in
about
August
the first quarter, you know? It's about to end.
First 3 months out.
Yeah. My team, I manage my expectations.
It's good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
My team is also not doing me so well, but we shall survive. We don't want to talk about football. Tukianza, tuko mid-term, so wacha pia mimi ninge mid-term juu tukianza tutamaliza. And of course, a big up Mr. Josh anakuaga kisikiza. And poleni sana to the families that have lost anyone due to these floods. Poleni sana. Guys, please, tujaribu to keep safe. If you can avoid it, venye tumesema, avoid it. But vitu zingine unajua tunasema jasi Januo. Today we are going to talk about hata vile CJ amesema, by the way, already in March, first quarter inaenda kuisha, the first three months. Of course, tukianza mwaka tuliset resolutions, but right now it's like we've already forgotten them. Why? Because comparison, of course, is the thief of joy. Tumesahau, we have forgotten because the pressure is on. Kenda kwambia pressure yenye kwa hapa nje. Watu wamemaliza, tulikuwa focused, tumeanza vizuri, tumepanga vitu, unajua vitu zenye unataka, lakini sasa uko around peers, uko around watu wenye. Ushekwaga kwa ile situation yenye kila mtu anaoleka, kila mtu anafanya wedo, kila mtu anabai gari, kila mtu anabai how, you know, and you find yourself in situations unaanza kujiuliza, kwani mimi nilikosea wapi? Kwani God hujanifikia? But Ken, nikianza na wewe, what do you think are some of the factors that lead to this kind of pressure? Yani, unajua it's unnecessary pressure, but I mean, we're human beings, we can't help it.
True. Mimi nitasema you're forcing me to go to
Kiswahili.
Bobby anasema mtaniwia radhi.
Ni mbaya.
Lakini mimi ni Mluya. Nikisema vitu hizo.
What I would say is many a times we focus on the wrong things, all in the hope of being assimilated to other people's desires. If you look at your life, it's always important to ask yourself, whom am I doing this for? We focus more on pleasing other people. We focus more on catching up. We play a lot of catch up, but we forget that we have our own lives to live. If you look at some people, there are people who are focused on the wrong things right now, using the right energy, but it's not for them. Maybe they are trying to outshine others. You're always playing a game of catch up. You are not sitting down with yourself and asking yourself, these resolutions that I made in the beginning of the year, whom do they belong to? Did we just sit down just because it's the beginning of the year? I've always told myself that my resolution should come when I start my year. Technically, the day I was born. And because I'm an October baby, my resolutions start in 1st of November. And why 1st of November is because I have a track. I have something that will track me. Ask yourself, how many days are we in the year? 69, yeah? How many of us have been able to sit down the first 2 months and ask yourself, what did I want to achieve by February? What did I want to achieve by March? The people that I closely work with and the people that we work in the same company, I tell them, if you can't set a good foundation in the beginning of the first quarter of the year, then your year is as good as done. You know, there are years that are done already. There are people who've given up. Why? Because some of their friends, like you've said, they wanted to buy a new car. But you can't start January and say, by the end of this year, I will buy a car. Yet you do not have a plan to buy that car. A goal without a goal without a plan is purely a wish. How many of us are wishing and dreaming? Yeah. Then you see somebody has bought a new car. Then you wake up. Oh, okay. I also needed to buy a new car. You hear people who've bought plots. I hear there's a banter going round. For us who sell land, we are being told to advertise mashamba sahi. Ati jukume flood, no, people should come where we sell. Zetu ziko legit. Yeah? That you wake up and you hear somebody has already bought a piece of land. It's like a eureka moment. We can't survive with eureka moments just because people have already achieved what they want. It's good to be very detailed with yourself and tell yourself, January, I needed to do X, Y, Z. I didn't do. So you can't push away for January and start for February, yet probably what you wanted to achieve for January is what will propel you for December. If you wanted to do a lot of saving, you didn't save in January because of so many reasons. You didn't save in February because of so many other reasons. What is the likelihood that you will save in March? So my take for this would be, please don't do things for the sake of catching up with others. Do things for the sake of yourself and being able to set the agenda for your life. Yeah.
I like what you just said, because it's about you. At the end of the day, it's about you. But Bobby, we keep forgetting that fact. Tumeka chini, tumezichora, tumeziandika, lakini mali katikati mtu anaanza kuona na Robata hii mwaka kuna venye ameanza kwenda sijui na flights, ameanza kutembea wapi, tunamwona social media anachachisha. But I keep telling people, I think sometimes social media, people use it negatively, wengine itumia positively. Sometimes unapata social media, people just use it for peer pressure, but others don't realize it. You need to be on the other side of life ndio ujue yenyewe hapa watu wanachachisha. But from where you're seated, nataka tu kujua, have you ever gone through your number one peer pressure, or the people around you, you see the way that they're living, you're like, it's never that serious. It's never that serious.
Hey, kwanza unajua inaumanga, atusemangi ukweli, lakini kuna dem mwingine ali open up juzi social media akiongea about jealousy. About how, you know, she was feeling jealous about her friend. The friend was achieving stuff, na yeye anafeel ako stuck, vitu hazifanyiki. And I realize we have a very negative connotation when it comes to jealousy. Like it's not a normal human emotion and we're not allowed to feel it or speak about it. So this is something we all feel. Hata sisi wenye hata wale wameomoka hapa maybe wana feeling jealous kidogo. Ukiona sitawasema lakini wanajijua wamekaa hapa kwa hivyo. I think jealousy is a very normal emotion. You know, sometimes you see something and you feel, I should have done something, you know, to acquire what this person has. So there's that comparison lazima ikam. Na saa ingine, it doesn't really come intentionally. It's a very subconscious process. It's not outright ati, I want what they have. Sometimes you just feel, and you have been slacking on my own goals. And the peer pressure, izo ma feelings zote, they're very natural and they're very normal. I think the issue is, how do we deal with these feelings when we're feeling them, and how do we use these feelings to propel ourselves towards the goals that we have? So something is, I think when you're feeling these feelings, you should sit with them and accept them and understand, first of all, their normal feelings. And then instead of using like the negative side of things, just ask yourself, how can I do better? Nikwe kama Roberta. What can I learn from Roberta? What is it that she does? Is it that she shows up every day, even when she's tired, sad, grieving, miserable, broke, beaten down? Or is it that she just sleeps every day, all the day, and she never thinks about... But there's also something really powerful about writing stuff down. To be honest, even if you never go back to check what you wrote, if you come back in a year and you check, you'll see you achieve the things you wanted, because it's more about the intention than even the writing. If it's something you want to do, you're going to achieve it if you put yourself in the right spaces with the right people and you have the right mindset towards achieving these things. And something else I'm realizing we're not accounting for. Unajua tunaongeanga to the good things about, write it down, be consistent, be patient, show up. Lakini we don't account for, like now, the traumatic experiences that might come when we're having these plans, because life is happening. There's people who had plans, they were swept away by the floods. For real, alikuwa na plans na alikuwa anunua hiyo gari March. Kuna mwenye ashanunua March, hiyo gari isha flood. Ali by January isha flood. So what next? What do you do after that? How do you wake up from that? How do you move on from that? And in real time, I'm learning that it's okay for you to stop, take breaks, rest, cry, relax, breathe. Hakuna competition, you're not in anybody's lane. There is no... So when you think like that, you realize even the comparison is a waste of time, because there's someone who bought their car and they've already lost it in a month. So what exactly are you comparing yourself to? What jealousy or what bad feelings are you harboring? I think you should just focus on yourself and focus on the things that you want to do. As long as at the back of your mind you have the intention that these are the things I want to do, then regardless of what curveballs life throws at you, then this is something that I'm talking about because it practically happens to me. It's not that even us sat here on this panel that we don't go through things. Yeah. Sometimes we're giving advice and we have zero bob in M-Pesa, but we're here talking about financial discipline, or we're negative 100K because you are in debt. You have so many things to pay for, you have nothing. But it's the consistent belief that I can do better, I will do better, I will get out of this slump. And I've done it over and over again. So this is just life's curveball and I will get out of it. So I think as long as kwa akili yako kuna hiyo intention ya kuwa better, uko tu sawa.
Uko tu sawa.
Uko tu sawa.
And CJ, there's a very important point that Roberta amesema, like, is it okay to feel all these things? Is it okay to feel the pressure? Is it okay to feel your envy, kufeel your jealous? As in, is it normal? Is it okay before tufike to how to navigate it? But hizi vitu zote watu wanasikia, are they valid feelings?
They are natural feelings. They are natural feelings. Sometimes you may feel that you are actually better placed than the other person. You may be more gifted in an area than somebody, then you see them doing better. And you begin feeling like, but why is this person doing better than myself? Sometimes the problem is not even that you have the problem with them. It may be with you, or it may be with, if you're dealing with a larger market, probably you'd be thinking about yourself. For example, if you're blogging like Bobby and then you know you're writing substance, then there's somebody else who's doing very little, and then you see that their thing is really building up. You'll start asking yourself, why? So it's not necessarily that you don't want the other person to do well, but you're thinking about the time and the energy you put into what you're putting in. If you're an author like myself and Ken, sometimes you're wondering, you know, it's not that I don't want Cutie's book to sell, but this is a good book which should be out over there. So those are very natural feelings. I think the thing that somebody has to work on is not to begin to turn that into a negative emotion, so that you're not feeling like you need to either bring the other person down, begin to cast aspersions on them. The moment you begin to feel like, Cutie, there must be somebody who is sponsoring her life, now that's what you need to watch out for. That's what you need to watch out for. It's okay to feel like, okay, she's doing well, and admire that. Sometimes we've got to accept that people will do better than us, and they will be ahead of us. And we don't have to explain why we are behind them. Life has a way of putting chips in people's paths, and sometimes things just happen for people. You know, there is a verse in the Bible that says, you know, the lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Sometimes some people, lines just fall for them. So you will be over there trying to criticize, analyze, investigate, trying to pull them down, thinking, you know, maybe they're now selling drugs, they're doing something, they're sleeping with everybody. But lines just fell for them in good places. Some people are being propelled by foundations. For example, Ken may be a third generation business person, and I'm a first generation. So he's leveraging on knowledge, experience, networks that his family has had. So by the time he's picking up, he may pick up faster. And I may think, you know, we are friends, we are peers. So I start competing with somebody whose background I do not understand. There are very many factors. So I think the thing is, as long as you're doing your best, try to kill that thing. It will come. It will show up, but just try to kill that thing. And one of the ways to kill it is to go to the person that you're looking at, whom you feel like you need to compete with, compliment them, learn from them. Just tell them, how is this working for you? Because I'm also in this particular space and this is what's going on for me. When you do that, you will never find yourself envious of somebody you appreciate. It is one of the things that you do. But the moment you begin to distance yourself, disconnect, criticize, you are going to embed the negative emotions.
That's true. I'll come back to you on something that you said. Not just sit there. But lazima tu acknowledge kitu moja, Ken. You know, at the end of the day, this generation wanataka vitu za haraka, haraka upesi. People don't want to put in the work. Na hapo ndio pressure. I feel like that's where the pressure is coming from, because at the end of the day, people want shortcuts. Kama ni wizi. Whatever gets you there, whatever it is you need to sell, Ken, at the end of the day, what's your take on all of this? Like, each generation wanataka vitu za haraka, wataki put in the work compared to other generations, though sometimes it cuts across, but kuna wale watu wenye tu wanakaa tu vitu zijilete.
True. You know, we also need to understand that there is no reward for suffering. So if you can be able to, amass faster, you don't have to suffer for it to make sense. If you can be able to make it faster, mvumilivu anaweza kula kama jaiba vizuri ama kama imeoza. You know, in this world, I always believe that there are people who are going to make it faster and better. And there are those of us who are also going to be used as an example. He came, he tried, he didn't make it. And there are those who, like, can be studied. How on earth did that person make it faster? Exponential growth is also acceptable. Like CJ has said, we are not cut from the same cloth. I like people to understand that when you come into a company like this, we are coming from very different backgrounds. There's somebody here who's their own kin and kith, generation and after generation, depend on their salo. So the moment you're paid, you have so many people to take care of. And there are people, even before their salary comes in, they have also received from some other people who support them. There are people who they don't need to call their family. Their family look at them. I am sure saa hii Bobby angekuwa na hiyo simu kuna mtu ashamtumia pesa. Na saa hii mimi mahali niko ninasafa kuuliza hata kamoja. You know, pressure. Cutie, you know, I have to tell you something. Every time we come here on air, hii nywele yako, I've studied it so much because my wife has the same hairstyle. So last week, she was just telling me from nowhere that there's somebody who asked how much it cost her. Na mi najua how much it would cost you because I pay for my wife. And when she mentioned the figure, the guy just looked at her and said, unless unaiba from the company. The guy forgot one thing, that Shiro is married.
Shiro has a man.
Shiro has a man who will take care of her. And it's not about bragging, it's about who else supports you besides your salary. What do you know, in a company, I was just talking to my colleagues yesterday in one of our branches, and I was telling them, some of us don't fully depend on salaries. I know CJ and myself do it a lot. I was asking Bobby where she's headed because I saw in your socials where you're headed today. Somebody is seated pretty, but after this you're going to make money. But there's somebody who is just counting days towards the payday. Tunalipwa lini. You know, our lives are so different. And the moment you sit down and you start looking at another person's life and you start envying them, what Bobby was describing as jealousy, that's where we start missing the point. Some of us know other people's lives better than we know ourselves. What if you stopped focusing on other people's lives and started focusing on yourself? Some of us see other people as if they are jealous, but they are not jealous. They are just looking at you and wishing you well. There are people who are very intentional to come and tell you, by the way, QT, oh, let me not use you because this is a relevant example. By the way, Ken, how you dress, you could be better if you tried X, Y, Z. And you start looking at them and you're saying, this guy, ameanza wivu because of how I dress. But probably they are even giving you feedback.
Yeah.
Why don't you just sit down and ask yourself a question? Whom are you relating to that is helping you to grow? If the people that you're with are not challenging you to be better and they are making you bitter, you know, bitterness comes as forms of gossips. Yeah? Sasa huyu alikuwa naenda kununua hii gari na ni nyumba ya rent. You know, you've ever had people who sit down to discuss such things, eh? Yani huyu hangeweza kitu ingine isipokuwa kujenga nyumba kubwa hivi na watoto wakienda nyumbani wakiolewa watabaki tu wawili. You know, sometimes we waste our time with the wrong people discussing the right agenda only that it's veered to other people. Sometimes it's okay to discuss yourself. Na ujiulize, hii maisha mimi ninaishi. Three very important questions for you, every person, as the year progresses. Where have I come from? The moment you realize that your background is not the same. Last week on one of my socials on Facebook, I just put to me it wasn't supposed to be so much. I said, today I have no motivational quote for you. Just look at your family background and know what you will do about it. Where the inboxes I got of people telling me, by the way, it's the high time I started focusing on myself. It's actually true that sometimes you don't look at motivation from elsewhere. You look at motivation from your background. And ask yourself, do I want to regress or do I want to regress my family? Some of us started from negatives and you're doing well. When you look at your background, let your background be the motivator that if you do one slight mistake, you will regress and go back there. Na hakuna kicheko inakuaga kali kama mtu kuchekelewa. Alikuwa anajidai, alafu amerudi zero. And if your background is good, please don't do things that will make your family to go back. This generation, like you're putting it, how many of us are putting ourselves in lifestyles that we can't afford and you're taking from your family? You're going for your family savings to spend money and please people out there. Money that is not yours, pleasing irrelevant people, and no sooner you will become an addict. You know, addiction is one of the most expensive affairs to treat in this country. I know Nakada listening to me or any other person running rehab centers today. Addiction is very expensive. You want to go and crash your family car because you are not used to driving when you are under the influence.
Where?
Yeah? You go to a police station, sasa familia yenyu ianze hongo, hapa kule, upelekwe jela. You know, this generation, and it's not a this generation thing, because it's not a this generation. It's about people who are not focused on their life. They are focused on other people's lives. They want to please other people at the expense of making their life irrelevant. My message to you is stop looking for relevance in the irrelevant people.
Stop looking for relevance in the irrelevant people who don't even matter, Bobby.
Focus.
Watu wenye wamata, focus kabisa. Lakini Kena kona, sinajua kona majabbing points hapo. But people use social media, Bobby, for the wrong reasons. Hiyo point kwa sema, like sometimes you find people watu wana post kwa social media, but in real sense, Bobby too, in real sense, kwa ground, mtu wana post relationships na maybe hata at that point hata ongeleshani na mtu wake, ametoka amepost mtu wake, amepost gari. Maybe even that car is not their car. Whatever it is that we post on social media, do you feel like sometimes we use it as a tool against other people? Ile tu nataka ku keep up na watu kuonyesha hivyo. And also, how can we just avoid getting into this hata nzite nets as a peer pressure?
Inaitwa confusing the enemy. Watu wadhani niko Cairo na niko Shamahoho. Ni sawa ndo msinipate, mnanitafuta hivi amnipati, kumbe yako Nyeri. So I think how the audience, their perception is the one that is the issue. If you're somewhere sat watching something online thinking someone is posting things to spite you, I think hapo ndo sasa unafaa ujite hiyo mkutano. Sijui nani amesema, Ken, ujite hiyo mkutano, ujiulize, these feelings, where are they coming from? CJ said these are internal things. Hizi ni vitu zimeanza from within.
Insecurity.
Why is it that when I see QT walking in the streets of London, it makes me feel a certain type of way? What is it? And at that point, Kenya tu CJ amesema ndo unafaa uanze kujiuliza, how can I learn from QT? Like, you can message QT and ask her the truth. QT ni ulilipia hii trip. Kwani ulilipa aje? Ulikuwa una save 20 bob mpaka ikafika, ama uliomba loan? Just ask, because sometimes we're very willing to tell you this is a car I've hired over the weekend. I might not disclose in the caption because, confuse the enemies. But like, if you come to my DM, nitakwambia tu, jumbona sisi wote tusionekane na Mercedes. If it will make you feel good and it makes me feel good, yeah. So I think the issue mostly is about you, the audience, as you're taking in this information that you're seeing online. Because to be honest, I always say this, nobody posts the bad side of things. Nobody posts when there's... Hakuna mtu atapost stove yake imeisha kerosene. Hakuna mtu atapost couch yake liraruka 5 years ago hajawahi weza kureplace. Curtains zimeraruliwa, sijui wall paint. Hakuna mtu atapost. Lakini ukienda kwa Airbnb poa, si utapost. Ukienda kwa hoteli 5 stars, si utapost. So it's not necessarily being done out of spite or being done out of trying to anger the audience. It's just we're naturally, it's like a natural affinity to good things. Everyone likes good things. We like when we wear nice clothes, when we have nice stuff, when we travel nice places. There's no way naanza kupost hapo nimelala njaa siku 7 unless naomba usaidizi. Ati nimelala njaa kabisa. This is my very beaten down shack where I've never been eating because I never have food. It's not, and remember I'm saying, it's not that people, I don't think all the time or most times when people are posting, they're posting out of, unless tu ni mtu mwenye hayuko, sijui anafikiriaje, but I don't think when people are posting, even if it's those nice things that are not real, they're posting to spite the audience. It's just, it makes me feel good, it makes me look good, so I'm posting it. You have to be very careful, and I always say as well, curate your timeline to feed you the things that you want to see. If it's that luxury stuff, if it's not going to make you jealous, you follow those things and make them see them. I think also seeing them a lot pushes you towards wanting them and towards wanting to work for them. If it makes you jealous, kuna mtu hapo unaonanga unafollow Roberta, Bobby, post zake zote, sijui ako wapi ameenda. Kama inakufanya usikie hurtful and angry and jealous, maybe mute me for a bit. You don't need to see it all the time if it's making you feel bad. Unajua timeline yako simu ni mtu anakukasirisha kwa simu unalipia na bill zako. Mute me for a bit, block me if you want to. Wacha kuona vitu zangu, uende reconcile with yourself. Work on, ask yourself, introspect. Where is these feelings coming from? Is it because I'm not showing up for myself the way I want to? Is it because I feel like Bobby should have whatever? Just feel those feelings and then confront yourself. That meeting Kenna said, have with yourself. But then, at the end of the day, when all this is said and done, kwa hiyo kitanda yako, kama ni 2x2 ama 2x6, pali unalala sijui, unakuanga peke yako usiku. Wewe peke yako ndo unajua the truth about how you're feeling and what it is that you want. If you truly feel bad and jealous about things that you're seeing other people doing, why don't you try to push yourself towards the things that you want for yourself? And listen, it doesn't have to be luxurious at the level of Ken. It can just be, nasemanga omena. Sa ingine luxury yako ni omena ya 20, nyanya ya 10, kitungu ya 5, na kaugali kako, na hiyo ndo bashi yako. Usijikompea na watu wa caviar, hata kama zote ni seafood. Sijui kama omena ni seafood.
Usawa caviar
unaweza Google. Usijikompea juu, kila kitu pia inakamingina level zake na steps zake. Uwezi pelekwa kwa caviar ka ujui caviar ni nini. Unaget? Exactly. Lazima ugrow, utoke omena, upande ndo so ufike sasa unahang na the caviar people. So I think be very patient with yourself also. give yourself a lot of grace. When I was beginning, I said how life throws you have your plans and then things happen. You're going through life and then you lose your job. This was the job that was supposed to finance the car that you were supposed to buy in October. What next? Does it mean your life is over and now you're dead? Your friends will die, your parents will die, you will lose things, you will lose business. Hizo floods za Nairobi ndo hizo ziko area. So please be very graceful with yourself. There's a video I saw of a lady who was showing her shop had flooded. Alikuwa na shop towel basement. But even throughout when she was posting and saying, you know, my shop has flooded, I've lost everything, millions, she kept saying, Alhamdulillah, 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 praising God, you know, thank you, God, thank you so much. And it made me feel, wow, this is such a beautiful way to, they say maybe toxic positivity, but this, I'm sure even if she's hurting, she's able to have gratitude in her heart and realize, oh, wow, kumbe you can have all these plans and you can do all these things and then just one thing inakurudisha ground zero. So be very graceful towards yourself. Be very kind towards your heart. We're just girls and boys. We're just babies. We're just human beings, bana.
You're out here, we're trying to...
Tujihurumie kidogo. Yeah.
Kidogo tu?
Kidogo tu. Si sana, usijihurumie sana ukwe lazy ulale. Utasikia vibaya ukiniona kwa hizo mandege.
Lazima utoke uende utafute. Na nimependa venye umesema algorithm. Zile vitu zenye unafikiria, unajua ndio zinakuja kwa nini.
Yes.
So kama ni kutravel, kama ni
follow those travel pages. Follow those, yes.
I like that. So CJ said I'll come back to you maybe on how to navigate. I love what you said, like get close to that person, learn from them, get to know what it is that maybe they're probably doing, but maybe some of the other things that someone can do just to navigate on this peer pressure, because honestly, to be really honest, hii peer pressure inaingia kwa akili sana. Hata as much as tujaribu kusema nini ama nini, kuna kitu mtu anaweza kuambia na ikuingie kwa akili and you're not even there, hata uko and probably you're even doing better than what they said, but sometimes it just gets to your head. So how can we be able to navigate all this?
I think if you feel that you're being negatively affected by exposure to certain people and you're clear about your goals, there's nothing wrong with you disconnecting for a while so that you don't see the image of what looks like the pressure for you. Most people who have built anything, whether it is wealth, companies, lives or something, they have built on the discipline of the boring every single day. You know, if you're trying to get fit like yourself, it's the boring daily routine.
Yeah, true, by the way.
Building a business is the boring daily routine. You go to work every day. There are days you'll have customers, clients, we won't have them. You'll have bad days, whatever, but you keep at it. It is after a while that you can look back and then say, we've made this progress. You know, Ken, they do this all the time because he's in a chair. So you'll always have reviews. Reviews because now after a while you can look back and see whether you've made progress or not. But you cannot stay in a place that makes you not do anything because you feel you're doing nothing. That's not healthy for you. If me being around you, and again, this depends on now the personalities of the people that you'd want to look up to. If you're doing well and me being around you makes me feel bad because you keep on telling me the way I can't do what you're doing, and you keep on making me feel like this is above my league, that's not good for my health. If you're not inspiring me, I need to get out, because there are people who are doing well, but man, they will throw that thing on you. They will sit on you. They will make you feel like you're nothing, you're a nobody, you can't do it. They're a very special breed. That's not a good place for you to be. You only can ask that from people who are willing to invest in you and build. So sometimes give yourself the time to build in silence, to work in the dark, until you have some results to show. You don't have to prove a point to anybody, as long as you're on course on the things that you set out to do. Generally, when you meet people who look successful, and one time Barack Obama talked about this, he said, when you sit at the high tables, you'll realize that these are just people. They're not what they look like. Yeah, I have some very successful friends, and sometimes when I would be asking these questions, and then you realize this person is still struggling with the same things you're struggling with, only on a different scale. So you may think the person is doing so well, but you realize they're still battling their own fears, insecurities. They also think they're not as successful as they should be. They're not meeting their goals. They don't have the resources that they want. They're losing people in their lives or company or something. So you find that we're dealing with the same things on different scales, different magnitudes. And when you understand that, you will give yourself grace, as Bobby was saying, give yourself grace to grow. We're in different stages, phases, realities of life. Do the boring work. That's what I would say to you. Do the boring work. Focus on your progress. Learn a bit from outside. You know, no farmer becomes a tourist. Farmers generally focus on their farm. If they walk out to go to Ken's farm, it's to learn something and come back, because the crop requires your presence. You need to keep on checking whether weeds are growing, whether there's disease, whether there's been watering and stuff. So when you take the mind of a farmer and look at your life as a farm, you'll realize you don't have enough time to be checking on what other people are doing, and the harvest will show after a while. So if your harvest is not as much, then you can go to somebody else and say, I would like to increase my yield. It becomes easier to connect with people when you have some yield as well that you want to improve on and grow. But I will not diminish the strength of things like social media. You remember at one point there were Senate hearings in the US, and they had to bring the Meta CEO and ask him about the impact that Instagram had on teens, because kids would come over there, and you see, you can be a kid at 40 based on your emotional development. And you come there and you wonder why when you post a photo it's 10 likes, and then when somebody else posts it's 10,000, and begins to look like rejection to you. So I would say one of the things is, please avoid spaces that will break you. If you're trying to build, avoid war. You can't be building and at war at the same time. So avoid the spaces that would break you. Focus on the things that will give you energy and joy, the people that would encourage you. Listen to people who tell their struggles as well, because that will make you feel like this is the normal part of life. Don't just follow people who show you the success story of it. And we also have to realize social media is a market. People are marketing over there. The reason we don't show the negative sides of our lives is because we don't trust the audience. I will only share with somebody I trust. So I'll not go to social media and say, guys, I need 20K. But I can call Ken and say, I need 20K, and he may not ask me why, because this is safe. So when you see me on the other side, after I've gotten the 20K, I may post something that
they don't know.
That's a survival space. And some people know that their opportunities come from there. If they come in defeated, they'll not get opportunities. So they will never show their weak side. They are just trying to make it. They're not making it. They're trying to make it. And they know that they've got to present themselves in a certain way and package themselves in a certain way. So guard yourself. I'll say that your health is your responsibility. Guard yourself. Build in silence. Do your best. Don't be lazy saying we're building in silence. And you're doing nothing and saying, we're building in silence. Just make sure you're putting in the work. You're putting in the effort, learning what you need to learn. When you are very intentional, you will also be very discerning about the kind of people to connect with. You will be. The energy of your soul will just tell you, this is not a good person to work with. This is not a direction I want to go. This is not material I want to read, because there's a way it will make you feel. So be very intentional about the environment that you have. Treat your life and yourself as a farm. Stay on it. Produce the best that you can.
As always. But I like the point that you said, the boring stuff is what keeps you going, because for me, I have a crazy routine and I do it every single morning. And I mean, it works for me. It's consistency that gets you there.
Kitty, it is said money loves silence. It is true. Money, most of the time, is not in the noise. It's not in the glam, it's not in the noise. The people who are really making money, they're making money with the most boring of businesses and activities and stuff. So the showbiz only makes a few people rich.
Pretenders.
But most people, their money is in the boring daily routine. So if you're doing your daily routines and you're putting in your effort, don't feel like your life is behind or other people are enjoying. No, just keep on working at it. It will give, right?
Money doesn't like noise.
Yes.
Pendi kelele.
Hapendi.
Lakini kuna wale watu wenye post. There are those people that just post maybe because they're just happy or they want to share, venye CJ amesema, or they just want to show. Kuna wale watu wenye showbiz, just a few people inalipa kwao. Maybe because amesema social media, you know, at the end of the day, it's a business. So unaweza sema like hiyo tu kupost sometimes because you're happy or because you want to share your motivation or because you just want to post. Unajua kuna wale tu watu wenye post tu just because, not because they're showing off, not because wanaringa or to cause jealousy or anything like that. But would you say like ni sawa tu, acha kama mtu inambamba post tu pale social media?
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's your personal space. The problem is when you have to feed on the likes and the comments and the shares. If that is your meal, then you're going to be hungry for a very long time. You know, generally, nowadays we say you don't have to know the thought of another person. You just need to look at their WhatsApp status after your conversation. That's where you will find some people talking to some people.
Be careful.
And you're almost saying, don't say some people, talk to me. Yeah, you know, the social media aspect, as a psychologist, there's something that we are really getting concerned about. In the past, we used to worry about post-traumatic stress disorder, post-trauma, when it has happened. Today, we are getting worried about something we are calling post-mortem stress disorder. Post-mortem stress disorder is what happens to your life once Wi-Fi has been cut off. What happens to you when you do not have people sharing your WhatsApp status? What happens to you when nobody likes or comments and you get worried that I posted, guy, just an hour ago, and it's the usual suspect. You know, everybody has the usual suspects. The usual people who, they don't care what you have posted, they will like, they will post, they will comment. Yeah, you know, sometimes there is somebody who can just post a dot. And everybody will go crazy. Oh, yeah, thanks for the motivation. And there are also people who are so bitter with themselves that irrespective of what you will post, just because it is you, just because it's you, they are so bitter about you, they don't care what you've posted, they will always run to your page to talk about negativity. You know, once you assimilate to yourself that this is what you will consume daily, then your happiness will be pegged on people's responses. Those extrinsic factors should never be part of your life. Yeah, the external locus that when people say I am smart, then you're going to accept that I am smart, and I am going to wear that piece of cloth so that I go and show off because somebody somewhere commented. It's the high time. Yes, the opinions of the people really matter, but they shouldn't matter 100% to you. You should have a crop of people whose opinion you take seriously, and there are those that you just look and you say, this one I will not comment. I talk to influencers and content creators, and one of my messages to them is, when you post, just be sure that there are going to be three sides of a coin. There are people who are going to look at the face value, there are people who are going to look at the behind value, and they will be like, huyu ameendorse hii product. As long as ni ameendorse hii product, mi sitainunua. And there are people who are going to sit on the periphery. They will be like, I'm not sure whether to buy or not to buy. I will wait for what other people will say. So my opinion on this matter is social media should not be a factor of your life entirely if you don't depend on it. But if your business depends on social media, that you're an influencer like Bobby, she looks at the brand today and you're like, yeah, I want to associate with that just because if it is business. You know, that's why nowadays we have even meta business. Yeah. Because your business depends on them. So ask yourself, why am I doing this? If it is for your own happiness, by all means, if people look at it from a jealousy perspective, it's purely up to them. If they look at it like they want to share, you know, people don't understand that sometimes we post because of where we've come from. Umeenda driving school na umesherehekea. Probably that's the first graduation in your entire family. So don't worry about what other people will say. Hata kama ni Sunday school umeenda. Jibambe. But don't do it for the sake of pleasing other people.
True that. Thank you for that, Ken. Maybe parting shot, Bobby, tukiondokea parting shot on all this matter.
Mi yangu ni kuwakumbusha kujipenda. Hii nasemanga kila saa. Self-love ambassador. Because once you love yourself, there's so many things that hizo Ken amezita extrinsic. I had forgotten that word exists. Hizo vitu external ni ngumu sana ziku affect when you're really focusing on yourself. When you're thinking about, and it's the hizo boring stuff CJ amesema. What am I eating today? Like someone like me, to be honest, I'm very obsessed with myself. Borderline, maybe even narcissistic a bit. I only think about myself all day. What am I going to buy? What am I going to eat? How am I going to look? Where am I going to go? What will I do? Who will I see? By the end of the day, it's so difficult for me to remember who did what to me, ama who posted words to make me feel bad, ama who was on my page saying bad things. Because all I'm thinking about is good things about myself and how I'm going to improve myself and feel good about myself. Loving yourself can look very different, but I think start with the small, boring things. Those things, focus on the things that make you very happy to the point that you know you're in your lane. You'll realize you're not in competition with anyone. Everyone is really, really on their path. Sometimes utafika mbele ya watu, kuna wale uomoka at 87, kuna wale uomoka at 15, kuna wale uomoka at 60. Hakuna timeline, hakuna compare, hakuna anything. Kuna wale uomoka, kula ule ataomoka this week, I lose December. Unaona? So, hakuna formula na hakuna menu, ni venye tu na. Lakini ukijipenda, inakuondolea mashida mingi sana hizo za kufikiria watu wengine. Inakuondolea vitu za peer pressure because if you can. Yesterday I was out at dinner with a friend of mine and I was telling him, you know, we were deciding on where to go eat, but I kept changing my mind. Ama twende hivi, ama twende huku. And he was very focused. Sema, no, we said we're going here. And I was like, wow, I really admire your... Ni conviction ama ni nini, like hiyo kukua na anajua Kenya anataka. Mimi nakwanga like the wind. We can go anywhere, anytime, do anything. So it's something I really admired. It's something I will learn from them. Teach yourself that. Teach yourself to know exactly what it is you want. Don't let other people, it was so easy for them to sway your ideas or your feelings. And even if they can sway it, ile preliminary, ile yenye iko ndani ya moyo yako, ikuwe yako kabisa. Ukijipenda, inakusaidia sana.
Inakusaidia sana. CJ, parting shots?
I think we shouldn't allow other people to determine what success looks like.
True.
You know, because everybody's looking out for themselves. There are very many things that we believe we must achieve, which were just marketing, you know, those are marketing strategies before. The housing issues with mortgage in the US was because banks needed to make money and they created this American dream that if you don't own a home, you're not doing well. But they were trying to find business. You know, the focus on breakfast was created by cereal companies that needed to sell. So they made breakfast become the big thing. So don't let somebody else determine what success looks like. You have to define your goals and then track your progress. You need to look at what you're doing. If you intended to save, look at that. Are you saving? And celebrate your consistency. Consistency eventually is what is going to get you to the destination. So as long as you're on track, you're doing your best, you're doing your most, you're making progress, celebrate that. Eventually you will get to where you want to get.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. As usual, Bobby nimalizia hivyo, but I hope you've learned something. I hope you've picked something. Don't be afraid to be different. Just be afraid of being like everyone else. That's my parting shot. Thank you, guys. See you next week, same place, same time. Please keep warm and keep safe. Kwairini.